Good morning, everyone. Hello, Siren. It's good to see you. Pamela, Anna, Valder, Ryan. It's so good to see everyone in chat. Welcome to Adobe Live on Behance. My name is Voodoo Val, and I am going to be your host again this morning for Challenge 2 of the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. Yes, it's go time, guys. I'm so pumped. So first off, just in case those of you in chat who are new have no idea what we're doing right now, the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge is a nifty thing that we like to do. These challenges last 2 weeks, and we do them back to back to back. We even have an XD Daily Creative Challenge if you're interested in that. And I'd like to show you how you can get involved in what I'm doing today, what we did yesterday, and what we're going to be doing in the future. So real quick, I'm going to pop over to the Daily Creative Challenge landing page and show you what is going on. So if you go to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop, it will bring you here where you can register for our challenge, as well as scroll down here and see all of the challenges that we're currently doing and have done in the past as they unlock at the beginning of every day. Yesterday we did a stylized avatar where you guys can create an avatar of yourself, and if you want to get a little magical and fancy with it, you can create like a fantasy RPG profile avatar, which was awesome, by the way. I just looked at the Discord again this morning. You guys did a fantastic job. I'm so proud of all of you folks, and there's so much variety in there. It's just been fantastic. This morning, we're taking our little adventure a step further, and we're going to be doing some icon design with a bit of a fantasy twist. So I'm super pumped to get into that, but a few more points before we jump into the meat of our challenge today. I'm going to pull up our Discord, which you can get the link to if you go to the landing page and hit community chat right here, or by scrolling down to the very bottom and hitting join us. It'll bring you to the Discord page like so, and then you can either continue in your browser or launch the Discord desktop app. And that will bring you to this nifty little thing right here. And I'm gonna use magic and bump myself over here so I'm not blocking our channels there. But basically, this is the current challenge page where everyone has been posting their challenge entries. And they look so good! Look at all of these! There are so many awesome pieces in here. I cannot wait to dig in today and give everybody feedback and chit chat about all of the choices you guys made. You guys went all out on these. They are so cool. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see more of them. But today we're also going to be posting our icons for today's challenge in here. And if you didn't make it yesterday and you want to participate and do all of the challenges, even though we've passed some, you can actually post your past challenges in our past challenge area right here, where we can also jump in and give you folks feedback on challenges past. If you've never used Discord before, you've never been here hanging out with us, definitely come into the introductions area here, introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about you, make some friends, and ask any questions if you need help navigating through our Discord. All right, so I'm going to page these down, or actually we're going to go over the schedule once real quick. We've got a really awesome lineup coming up today. We're going to be kicking off the day, obviously, with me, the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. We've got, let me see, let me make sure that I've got, for whatever reason, the wrong schedule up here. My apologies. I'm gonna flip over here actually and just tell you guys what we have coming up, because I need to add in a different schedule for there. But today we actually are going to have Sandy Pell and Steve Pell, who are an awesome, super cool duo who do awesome murals and stuff, coming up to do some cool design for you guys. And then we're going to have Josh Iwata with XD, some cool UI UX design later in the day. And also Peter Del Tondo is going to be coming up this afternoon with the XD Daily Creative Challenge for you all. So if you're into that, definitely tune in for those segments. But without further ado, we are going to jump into our challenge for the day. And this is what it is going to look like. I know that this is an awkward, weird little sketch, and you probably weren't expecting to see ham on Adobe Live this morning, but I promise you there is a reason for this. So we're going to be creating some icons with the pen tool today. Now, some of you guys might already be familiar with the pen tool, so if you'd like to blast through this and kind of embellish with some other tools and stuff, that's super cool. But I'm going to walk you through the basics of how to trace and make paths and make shapes and stuff with a pen tool, but with a fantasy twist, as I let you guys know before. So, for those of you who are excited about the whole RPG theme, every adventurer needs to prepare properly for any adventure and quests that they go on, right? And so the things that we're gonna need during these quests are things like this, like food or potions or gold. So I challenge you to make an icon today of something that you would bring with you on a fantasy adventure quest. And I am going to choose a bit of food. A little level up ham is what I'm going to be working on today. So, how do we use the pen tool? First of all, over here on the side, you can hover over here. If you press P on your keyboard, it will select the pen tool for you, or you can get it right up there in your toolbar. Now, some of you who have used the pen tool before, you know that you can make paths, you can do pixels in here, you can make shapes, and you can come in here and do stuff like this, you know, and make weird little shapes and things, or make a path like this, you know, you can make a little, you know, make little shapes like so. You can actually access all of the paths and things that you make with the pen tool from the paths panel, by the way. If you don't have the paths panel in your original setup, you can go up to window, down here to paths, and it will open for you. But some of you might have been stumped in the past when you do things like this. For example, I'm going to make a path here, and I'm going to click here because I want to sort of trace this shape that we've got going on here to make it a cool icon. You go like this, right? And then maybe you click and drag, because if you click and drag with the pen tool, you can actually warp the curvature of your path. And then you click someplace else right here, and you've got this issue going on. You know, you've got like a little bend to it, and you don't know how to fix that. Well, I'm going to show you some cool shortcuts and hotkeys to help clean up and make your paths and shapes very precise. So first of all, something to keep in mind. When you make a new point in your path, you get these two little arm bar things sticking out here, and those actually dictate the trajectory of the next point that you place out and the future of your path. So in order to edit these so that we can get a nice clean shape that we want, this is what we do. If you hold Control, you can click on a point in order to select it. If you hold Alt, you can actually grab a hold of these bars and you can move them around. So we want our next point to go pretty straight up here. So I'm just gonna direct this up this way so that when I make our next point, boom, it follows that path right there. And I actually want it to be very, very straight. So I'm going to bump this over like that, and then I'm going to click right here, so it's just a straight line, which is awesome. So that is how you can edit those and move things around. Now, say for instance I click out here and I actually don't like where I've placed it. You can actually hold Control and grab that point and drag it to wherever you want. Hold Alt and kind of bend these things a little bit back. And edit the shape and the curvature however you like. So I'm just going to come through here, and I am going to make this shape exactly how I want it. I'm going to click and drag and do this little thing here. I'm going to come in here and do the same thing. And then I'm going to click out here. And then I'm going to come over here to this point and I'm going to drag and really make that curve like so. And then I'm going to connect here. And you'll notice that when I connect that, there's no little drag and pull thing for me to do. But again, what I can do is I can come over here and I can hold Control and click that point that I want to edit. And then I can grab the little armature while holding Alt, and I can bump that in exactly how I want it, which is super, super cool. So now that we have this, there's a lot of different things that we can do with this. We can either make it into a shape, or we can make it into a selection, or whatever we want to do. And I actually would like to make this into a selection. So if I click right here, I'm not going to add any feather radius or anything. I'm just going to say OK. And it actually gives me a selection of what I just made a shape around. And it did select the edges here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my marquee tool or press M on my keyboard. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to say select inverse, just so I have only that little shape to work with, which is super fun. Some of us are terrified of Illustrator. It's all about personal preference, you know? The pen tool was something I was a little scared of at first as well, but now it's like one of my most favorite things to use because of how easy it is to edit things now that I know how to do the little armatures and click and move points and everything. So as I said, you could either make it a shape or make it a selection. For my own work flow, I'm actually going to just make it a selection because that's what I want to do. But you could have done something like this. Let's see, you could do, let me go back to my pen tool and say shape. Oops. It's selected on the inside. Let's see. I'm actually just going to leave it as a selection for now. And I'm going to right click in here and I'm going to select inverse. And then I'm just going to use my paint bucket tool like we used our paint bucket yesterday to fill in spaces. So this is a little bit of like kind of bringing in yesterday's knowledge into today. And I'm going to select a really nifty color and I'm going to, on a new layer, Control Shift in for new layer, by the way. Or you can come down here into your layers panel and click a new layer. And I'm going to fill that in maybe a little more redder color, like so. And I'm going to start kind of making this into like a stylized ham. And what you can do is you can use the pen tool a little bit more and you can come in and make shapes and things, or you can start out with a shape instead of using a selection like I did. For example, let me press P here. I'm going to hit Control D for deselect, and I'm going to come up here to shape. I'm going to select a new color that maybe is a little more pink for the inside of this ham, and I am going to go like this and maybe make a little open area. Let's see, I'm going to go like so, kind of curve that around, bring that around like so, and then I'm going to hold Control and I'm going to click here and I'm going to arc this armature here while holding Alt, again like we have been doing, and kind of add in that little shape like that. And then I'll make a new layer. So you can do that if you like to, and start adding in all the pieces, or you can do what I showed you yesterday, and that is use the brush tool with some smoothing, whether you're on stylus or a mouse, in order to kind of paint in some things or stroke in some things within a selection. And the way that you can do that is if you hold Control and you click on a layer, whatever is in that layer will actually be selected. So that's how you can get a really nice clean selection without having to go back through and select everything. How do we do this if we don't already have something drawn? Where you can either sketch something or you can find a really cool image on the internet of a cool item that you think is nifty that you might bring with you on a super cool adventure, and you can trace that like I traced my sketch. All right, so now that we're on this new layer, I'm actually going to rename my layers. I'm going to call this ham. I'm gonna leave that as shape 1, and I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna call this details, just so I remember what exactly I'm doing. And I'm going to, with the brush tool, by pressing B or coming over here to my panel and hitting the brush, I'm gonna grab a brush. Let's see, we'll grab something like this. And I'm going to, over here in my color panel, I'm gonna select a color, and I am going to come in and kind of start painting this up. Now you can use, with the smoothing on, you can use your mouse even to do this. If you guys are not able to use a stylus, that's totally cool. And at any rate, like I said yesterday, I'm doing mine a certain way, but these challenges are for you. So if you guys find that that's not 100%, you know, the way that works best for your own workflow and your own style, that is totally cool. You guys embellish and add in steps however you like, whatever works for you and your own project. So I'm gonna do like a little bone there, and I'm also gonna grab this and I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna add in a little bit of meat there. And then I'm even going to grab this color like so, and I'm going to put in our little circle here. And then I'm even going to clean this up a little bit, and I'm going to utilize something super neat with the gradient tool to give it a kind of shine. So on another layer, Control-Shift-N as well. I have this all selected still, by the way, and if the little marching ants on here are a little bit distracting to you, you can always do Control-H to hide the marching ant selection, but the item will still be selected, which is super cool. I'm going to come up here to my gradient tool. Now, the gradient tool is actually hidden in the paint bucket tool, so if you right-click there, and go over and press gradient tool, that's where you'll find it. And you can hit G in order to get to the gradient tool after that point, just like you were hitting G to find your paint bucket tool. And I'm gonna hold Alt to sample this little red color here, and I'm gonna grab a lighter version of that color. And then I'm going to actually, usually I set this on the linear gradient tool. I'm actually going to come over here to the reflected gradient, which I think is super neat. I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to drag a line right here and give that, let's see, let's make it a tiny bit brighter. And I'm going to give this just like a little line shine right there. And I'm going to find a blending mode that I like. If you come up here just above the layer, here, and you'll be able to click here and kind of go through and test out all of these awesome, super cool layers. So I've added, I like this lighter color. I've added a little bit of a shine to the top there. And then I'm going to come in, I'm going to hit B on my keyboard to get my brush. I'm going to grab a standard soft drawn brush, which you all should have. I'm going to grab this color again, find something a little bit darker, crank the smoothing up because I am using my mouse right now, and I'm just going to add a tiny bit of, oh, I'm still on this lighter color one here. Let's make a new layer so that I'm not applying it to the layer with the blending mode. And I'm going to add a little bit of shadow around here. And it's a little bit harsh, which is okay, because we can either turn the opacity down on this layer, or we can find a cool blending mode for it. I think personally, I'm just going to turn the opacity down, which you can find right up there next to where you can find all of your blending modes. So I'm going to do that. And then what I might do is come in here and add some teeny tiny finishing touch details with my brush. Although, again, if you have smoothing on, it can easily be done with your mouse as well. Or heck, you could even do a path with the pen tool and add a stroke to it to get some little curvy curls here to show that there's like fat in the ham, like so. And then I'm even going to grab this darker color, find something slightly darker, and I'm going to give this some little lines, some little roast lines here on the side, like so. Boom. And I'm even going to hold L, or click L to get my lasso tool. And I'm going to select this, and I'm going to rotate it just a little bit, like that. And then I've made like a little ham icon, and it's so much fun, and it's so easy to do, and it's just a quick little way to make something stylized and adorable, with the pen tool being your selector or your base making a shape. So real quick, I am going to group all of this together. I'm going to hide my sketch underneath, and I am going to transform this and make it a little bit larger, like so. And I'm going to save this because we're going to put this on Behance. So I'm going to save this and gather your supplies. I'm going to do a little JPEG, boom, say yes, like so. And then I'm going to go over to Discord and Behance and share with everyone. So over here in Discord, which again you can get if you go to the landing page and hit join the community or chat with the community. And I'm going to come over here to the current challenge, and I'm going to post these in here that I have done. I've actually done a few because I always do some of these ahead of time, but I'm going to post both of them so that you guys can see both of the hams that I created. Because they were super fun, and one of them is a little darker and one of them is a little brighter, and it was a blast to create both of them. So there's both of the little hams that I created. I'm also going to come over here, let's page this down, into my Behance by clicking my profile, and then coming over here to my PSDCC, hovering over the gear and clicking edit. And then I'm going to scroll down in here. And I am going to say, creating fantasy icons. I'm going to add a grid here, upload files, and I'm going to navigate to where I have all of my little items here. I'm even going to upload my sketches just because I'm going to come back much later and add a little bit of information in each area about my thought process and everything. So I like to have all of my sketches, all of my steps and everything sorted in here. I'm going to grab this. We'll put this ham in there, and then I'll detail the other ham a little bit more later on, and we'll put even more. I might even end up doing the potion and the gold just to have a bunch of different versions of this and explanations for our challenge. But then I'm going to hit done over here. I'm going to hit save, like so. And then if I go into my profile and click on my DCC, we have yesterday's project and we have today's project, which is super, super fun. The ham of power, yes. So I'm super pumped to see what you guys come up with for this challenge. Again, the Discord has been full of so many fantastic entries from yesterday, and I know that today is going to be just as super cool. I hope to see you guys either choose one of the fantasy icons that I did, or even make up your own super cool item that you guys might take with you. And remember, if you're not a fantasy RPG video game person, you know, this is just a cool prompt to keep everything interesting and fun and lively. But if you'd like to do something that just works for your own self and your own kinds of projects that you like to do, that is totally acceptable as well. No need to go the fantasy route. I think we all need a healing potion. I need healing! Yes! But yeah, so this has been fun. It's been super awesome. It's been a blast as always. Please stay tuned for an awesome, epic design segment coming up right after me, as well as the second half of the day with some awesome XD UI UX design settings. And I will see you guys next time. Adios, everybody.